and I just wanted to go over some things that Sarno used to talk about in terms of his daily reminders. I've added some subsections and I've added about three different types of reminders that we can go over to. Just a little addition to what he did. So, number one, the pain is due to TMS, not to a structural abnormality. There's nothing physically wrong with me. So if you're a newbie, this may take some getting used to. What do you mean nothing is wrong with me? It's that doctors a lot of the time don't know what's right and wrong with us. And they show us these MRIs or X-rays that look abnormal, and they might be abnormal. But you'll find just as many abnormalities on people who get MRIs that aren't in pain as the people who are in pain, so they really don't mean that much. But always get checked out by your doctor regardless. The direct reason for the sensations are neuroplasticity. My brain has learned the pain or the pains. So basically, Hebb's law, things that fire together wire together, right? If you're in pain in a long enough time, then it becomes learned. And we have to break that cycle and conditioning to get it to turn off. Oftentimes, the brain has turned on the pain and either forgotten or doesn't understand how to turn it off. So that's something that we can work on. A TMS is the harmless condition caused by my central nervous system and subconscious mind. All true, along with neuroplasticity. What happens is that the central nervous system takes on all of this trauma, creates all of this energy in our system, creates pain, and then the neuroplasticity learns it. So it's really a harmless condition in terms of physical. It's just a very painful condition. Four, the principal emotions are repressed anger, rage, fear, and shame. And I must feel these emotions to get better. And that's something we'll talk about on another podcast is how to feel those sensations. And you can do journaling, you can sit with them. There are multiple ways to feel those emotions. So for A, TMS exists only to distract my attention from the emotions and limiting beliefs. And since my back or whatever body part you're talking about is basically normal, there's nothing to fear. You've got to let go of the idea that there's something physically wrong with you, and then the central nervous system will calm down enough to release or at least relax those symptoms, okay? But if we're not calm, they're not going anywhere. So since the perception of danger can be false, pain is a very unreliable indicator of the condition of the body, which basically means we have pains all of the time, and they're not necessarily indicative of there being something wrong in the body. And like we said, the brain can turn on the pain, but that's not always an indicator that there's something physically wrong. We just need to get the brain to turn off the pain, okay? But of course, always talk to your doctor to make sure there's nothing really physically wrong. When you find out there's absolutely nothing they can do for you, then it might be time to look at a mind-body solution. Number six, I am not broken or in danger. Okay, once again, we go through the medical testing, we realize everything is normal. We have to understand that we're not broken or in danger. Okay. Number seven, I am really okay. We have to convince ourselves that we're really okay. Number eight, my amygdala is relaxed and calm. I am fine. The amygdala sits in our brain and it is our smoke alarm. It's our fire detector. And the more pain you've been in your life or the more trauma you've experienced, that fire alarm becomes more and more sensitive. So smaller things have a tendency to set it off. Things that would not set off the amygdala in people who've not been through trauma or through a lot of chronic pain. Let's see, number nine. Therefore, physical activity is not dangerous. This may sound crazy, but we move very, very slowly using a graded exposure approach to slowly get you back to moving again. We don't go right back at it once we've decided that this is mind, body, and not physical. We make sure that you're ready to move. We get you moving, and you start to realize more and more that it's not dangerous, and you can take off, get moving again. So, number 11, I will not be concerned or intimidated by the pain. I will be indifferent instead. So, a lot of people, when they feel a sensation, they start to freak out because they do feel like there's something wrong with their body. It's not necessarily the case. So, if we can become kind of somewhat indifferent to the pain, then we'll be much more relaxed. Our central nervous system will relax, and the pain will go down. Talk a little bit about another episode about fear and focus. So, right, more fear, more focus, more pain. So, if we can become indifferent, that makes all the difference in the world. So, I will shift my attention from my sensations to the emotional issues: anger, rage, shame, depression, not feeling good enough, not feeling safe, and not feeling worthy of being well. Okay? If we can focus on those things and journal about them or talk about them with a counselor or a coach, we can start to release those emotions, which is taking energy out of the TMS system, out of your central nervous system, out of the reservoir of rage, as Sarno talks about. So, number 12, I intend to be in control, not my subconscious mind. I must think psychological at all times, not physical. And what this means is that in the beginning, you've got a lot of tied up emotions inside of you. So it's really hard to think psychological. So people say, well, how can I think psychological? I have no idea what's going on. But as we work together as a coach or a therapist, you start to weed out a lot of these emotions. So once you've weeded out a lot of those emotions, then it's more of a cause and effect thing. You realize that that fight you had with your spouse or your boss, and now you're in pain, you can easily attach it to that and go, oh, that was the reason. No reason to cause more pain. We can shut this off. But when you're overloaded with symptoms, it's impossible to think psychological. You just want to get in the idea that, these things are psychological. They are emotions, okay? They are trauma. And we need to release a lot of stuff so that in the end you can think psychological and get these things to go away. And last but not least, I truly believe in my heart, based upon the evidence, that I have TMS and absolutely nothing else. So in the beginning, you don't have to believe 100%. You can even believe 30%. So as you work with a coach, your your intuition starts to change, your ability to see all of this starts to change, you start to see improvement, and your belief grows. Okay, it's that simple. It's just like anything else. If you didn't believe in penicillin and you took it when you were sick, you would see that each day you got better and better, and you would say, wow, this penicillin really works. And the same thing is with coaching and TMS. The more work you do, the more benefit you see. Maybe not at first, but down the road, you see that this is changing, this is happening. And so your belief in TMS has grown. And then towards the end, you really believe 90 to 100% that this is the real deal, and the pain goes away. So I'm Rick Hammond, the PRT coach, prtcoach.com. So feel free to contact me at redrockrick@gmail.com or prtcoach.com. Thank you.